In episode 1144, the arrival of the Gorosei at Egghead shakes the entire island. The Marines and Vice Admirals are shocked by the sheer impact of their presence, while Elbaf's giants destroy the Navy ships at the shore. Luffy is forced to face all 5 Gorosei, each transformed into terrifying monsters. Sanji, carrying Vegapunk, frantically urges the crew to escape, while Nostro swiftly cuts down the pacifista. Meanwhile, Zoro continues his fierce battle against Rob Lucci. After being mocked by Sanji as a burden, Zoro gets serious and defeats Lucci with his finishing move. At the same time, Luffy is swallowed by the giant sandworm, but is rescued just in time by Dory and Broggy with their devastating combined attack.
As we all know, Dr. Vegapunk is now standing on the edge of death. He tells Bonnie to escape and save herself along with Kuma. Meanwhile, Caribou begs Van Augur and Katarina Devon to take him to Commander Teach. He claims that becoming Teach's subordinate has been his dream all along. Caribou also reveals that he has information that could make Blackbeard very happy if he hears it. When Van Augur points his rifle at him, Caribou immediately kneels, begging for his life and swearing that he really does have information of great importance. Information that could shake the entire world. And that information is about the ancient weapons, which have existed since ancient times. One of them is Poseidon, referring to Princess Shirahoshi of Fishman Island. Another is Pluton, said to be sleeping beneath Wano country. These ancient weapons are feared because they hold the power to destroy the world. According to Caribou, only he and the Straw Hat Pirates know about both of them. Meanwhile, the Marines fighting the pacifistas decide to retreat, calling it too dangerous for their soldiers. Unexpected events continue to unfold. Vice Admirals begin labeling Vegapunk as a traitor and a major criminal. They then decide to chase Bonnie and even talk about taking her head. Bonnie is suddenly pursued by a large, fast Marine soldier. A chase begins, and the soldier charges up an attack that looks like a Kamehameha aimed at Bonnie. Out of nowhere, something huge crashes down and takes him out. It's Dory and Broggy, the giant warriors from Elbaf. Bonnie is shocked, but the two giants announce that they've come to help the Straw Hat Pirates. With that, Bonnie and Frankie receive backup from the warriors of Elbaf.
The scene shifts again, showing the Vice Admirals preparing to fight against the Elbaf giants, even at the risk of their lives. On the other side, Saturn is shown evolving and moving toward Vegapunk, who is barely hanging on. Kizaru admits that things aren't going as planned, and now everything has gotten messy. Sanji tells Kizaru to just head back to headquarters, since he's only making things worse here. At the same time, Luffy reminds Vegapunk of their promise to help him escape this place. But Vegapunk has already made up his mind. There's something he must protect. He wants Bonnie to learn about his command system once she's older, even though that would make her a target for many. Vegapunk asks Luffy to protect Bonnie. Suddenly, Saturn launches his attack on Luffy and Vegapunk, but Sanji reacts quickly and pulls Vegapunk away. Seeing Saturn's persistence, Luffy decides to stop him, in his usual ridiculous way, by mocking and provoking the Gorosei. Saturn gets furious and launches more attacks, but none of them land on Luffy, who just keeps taunting him. Meanwhile, Sanji, who is carrying Vegapunk, gets intercepted by Kizaru. Sanji takes a powerful kick and is knocked back. At that moment, Vegapunk slips from Sanji's grip and is struck again by a laser that pierces through his body. Vegapunk looks pitiful as he collapses once more. Seeing the situation worsen, Luffy firmly orders Sanji to run with Vegapunk. As Saturn and Kizaru close in again, Luffy blocks them both with his hands. He refuses to let them lay a finger on Sanji or Vegapunk. But Vegapunk is clearly on the brink of death. His consciousness begins to fade. And just as he slips away, suddenly a massive broadcast screen lights up, showing Vegapunk. Right there, he begins delivering a message that could shake the entire world.
Episode 114.3 immediately takes us into Vegapunk's recording studio where it all began. In Dressrosa, we see Rebecca and her father practicing sword fighting while listening to Vegapunk's voice on a Dendenmushi. Even in Luffy's hometown, it's the same story. Utilizing all the marine branches as relays, Vegapunk's broadcast is spreading at maximum power. Marine soldiers are bewildered. Their Dendenmushis are broadcasting something they can't control. They try to stop it, but it's impossible. Sanji, who is near Vegapunk, is just as confused. Vegapunk's voice suddenly comes through his headset. And on the battlefield, Luffy, Saturn, and Kizaru hear it too. Usopp, Nami, and Chopper are all wondering about this mysterious voice. On the other hand, Dory and Broggy also hear it, sensing that something big is about to start. As they search for Luffy, marine soldiers suddenly block their path and fire shots at them. But the shots are completely useless. With powerful swings of their weapons, Dory and Broggy retaliate, damaging the ground around them.
Luffy, still fighting, is actually happy to hear Vegapunk's voice. Uncle Apple is all right, he thinks. Now he can focus on facing Saturn and Kizaru. Meanwhile, in the Gorosei's chambers, they wonder what's happening. Saturn explains that Kizaru killed Vegapunk, so he should be dead. They conclude Vegapunk must have planned this, triggering his message upon his own death. The Gorosei are in a panic. They don't know what Vegapunk is about to reveal and plan to destroy the broadcast source as quickly as possible. If not, chaos will only worsen. News spreads like wildfire. The world's most brilliant person is about to say something incredible. People rush to watch Vegapunk's live broadcast together. The incredibly beautiful Rebecca also watches, worried about Luffy and disbelieving the bad rumors about him. The citizens are asking, what is this truth about the world that Vegapunk is talking about? In Luffy's hometown, the residents ask the mayor for a video Dendenmushi, but it's denied due to the high cost. Just hearing his voice is enough, he says. It's different in Water 7, Frankie's hometown, where they've set up large screens at every shipbuilding dock. Feeling it's important, they've instructed residents to watch for 10 minutes. The scene shifts to Morgan's room. He immediately concludes that the broadcast is using marine branches, but the signal is independent. Vivi is worried about Luffy. Morgan explains that this isn't a live broadcast from Egghead right now, but a pre-recorded message. Morgan speculates that Egghead might already be utterly destroyed by a buster call. This is going to be world-shaking news. Vivi can only hope Luffy survives Egghead. At Ivankov's base, they are also watching the Vegapunk broadcast together. Ivankov is annoyed seeing Vegapunk on screen, casually drinking coffee, and also by his current apple-shaped head.
Hey Dana, check this out.
Papa, what are you doing? Oh my God, it's coming off!
No,
Papa,
no,
stop!
it's a joke.
It's not. No, it's coming off.
The Revolutionary Army soldiers think Vegapunk is being held hostage, comically asking if a hostage can be that relaxed. Sabo asks Dragon, is Vegapunk really going to reveal the world's truth? Dragon replies, even geniuses can't see their own future, and he too wonders what Vegapunk will say. Then, the scene shifts to giant warriors carrying Bonnie, Kuma, and Frankie. They are about to reach the giant pirate ship. Frankie's eyes immediately sparkle at the sight of the magnificent and enormous ship named the Great Eric. They'll set sail as soon as their two bosses return. The Gorosei are growing impatient to destroy Vegapunk's broadcast. Back to Luffy's fight against Saturn and Kizaru. Luffy is still taunting Saturn because his attacks are completely ineffective and always dodged. Saturn and Kizaru get angry, launching a combined attack, but Luffy still manages to evade. Luffy won't let them go anywhere until everyone else has escaped. Luffy stretches out both his arms and slams Saturn and Kizaru together, flattening them both. Haha. Luffy is still in the lead, toying with them both. Luffy throws Saturn and Kizaru powerfully, sending them flying far away. Kizaru crashes into a marine ship, causing an explosion. As for Saturn, though thrown far, he bounces back like a boomerang and heads straight for Luffy. Luffy is shocked. A comical chase ensues between Luffy and Saturn, with Luffy wondering why this is happening as he runs.
On Kizaru's side, he appears physically and mentally exhausted from having killed his own friend. At the same time, the Gorosei inform Saturn that they are running out of time. They cannot allow Vegapunk to speak freely. After attacking Luffy, Saturn immediately stops and initiates a summoning of all the Gorosei to Egghead Island. One by one, the Gorosei step into a ritual-like circle. And at that very moment, a terrifying atmosphere descends upon Egghead Island. Black lightning strikes, the ocean shakes violently, and immense power emerges on Egghead. And
One Piece episode 1144 shows the immense power of the Gorosei who arrive on Egghead Island. The Marines who witness this power are utterly shocked, as are the Marine Vice Admirals. At the same time, several Elbaf giants appear and destroy Marine ships with their arrows and swords. Meanwhile, Dory and Broggy, searching for Luffy, boldly march towards the source of the Gorosei's immense power. Bonnie is worried about what's happening to their friends. Luffy is also taken aback. Suddenly, powerful monsters emerge one after another in front of him. Seeing the situation worsen, Sanji, carrying Dr. Vegapunk, rushes to leave, needing to contact Nami and their friends. Now, 5 monsters appear before Luffy. Saint Shepherd Jupiter emerges as a sandworm monster. Saint Ethanbaron Venon's Juro appears as a Badakutsu horse skeleton monster. Saint Topman Warcurie appears as a Fengshi boar-like monster. Saint Marcus Mars appears as an Itsumade bird-like monster. And finally, Saint J. Garcia Saturn, who previously appeared as a Gyuki ox demon monster. Luffy comically runs away from these monstrous beasts, the world government's highest authority, the Gorosei, now directly in front of him. Luffy tells the 5 of them that their island could be destroyed by their power, and he also tells them to just sit still instead of causing trouble. Seeing how massive they are, Luffy comically, while laughing, inflates himself to appear just as large. Seeing Luffy laugh with glee, Saturn immediately attacks Luffy, flattening him.
At the same time, Nuzjuro rushes away. The pacifistas are still firing at ships on the shore. It seems Nuzjuro is heading towards the group of pacifistas to stop them. With epic and incredible skill, Nuzjuro slashes through the pacifistas one by one. The soldiers watching are shocked as the pacifistas suddenly collapse. The Marine soldiers see something moving rapidly along the shore, slicing down pacifistas. On the other side, Sanji tells Nami that the situation is dire. He can't explain the details of what's happening, but the situation below has reached its limit. Sanji tells Nami and their friends to escape immediately. It's speculated that the pacifistas hit by Nuzjuro's attacks had their brain networks collapse and freeze, temporarily deactivating them. One of the terrifying monsters now flies towards Nami and the others. Despite the emergency, Nami, Usopp, Chopper, and Robin are still waiting for the others to arrive. Suddenly, a shout is heard. Something is coming their way.
And indeed, the Straw Hat cruise ship speeds along. Comically, Brook on the ship is laughing hysterically while drinking tea. Then we return to Luffy's fight against the Gorosei, where Saturn, annoyed with Nika or Luffy, attacks him repeatedly, but Luffy still manages to dodge all the attacks. After dodging Saturn's attack, Luffy is now blocked by the large sandworm monster. The monster immediately opens its mouth and attacks Luffy, but Luffy still manages to dodge, and the worm monster seems to go underground. After going underground, it immediately attacks Luffy from within the earth. Luffy then enters its mouth. The scene then shifts to show the actions of the other Gorosei. At the same time, Usopp reports the current situation to Sanji, saying that Brook and Lilith have arrived with the Sunny Go. Brook calmly tells Lilith that they'll be fine, but Lilith, still in shock, hits Brook for acting so cool when the ship had to stop because of Usopp. Lilith is so annoyed she wants to boil Brook's bones into broth. Ha!
They want to leave immediately, but Zoro and Jinbei haven't arrived yet. Hearing this, Sanji appears annoyed with Marimo, Zoro, for still fighting. Sanji asks Jinbei for a status report. Jinbei seems to understand the situation now. Even if the fight isn't over, Jinbei will forcibly bring Zoro. Then we see the fierce battle between Zoro and Rob Lucci. In the middle of their fight, both feel an immense power heading their way. Rob Lucci says that Zoro must have been distracted by that haki turning his gaze because its impact reached the entire island. Zoro and Rob Lucci continue their intense fight, exchanging powerful attacks. Jinbei, seeing them still fighting, reports to Sanji. Hearing this, an increasingly annoyed Sanji says, "That damn Marimo is putting the crew in danger. What a dead weight!" Sanji exclaims angrily. It seems the dead weight comment reached Zoro's ears. Zoro, refusing to be called a burden by Sanji, immediately gets angry and becomes serious, intending to end his fight with Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci prepares to launch his Shigan Udara attack, unleashing continuous fist attacks on Zoro. However, these rapid-fire attacks are ineffective against a serious Zoro, fueled by Sanji's insult. Zoro jumps back and prepares to unleash his Santoryu Kokuba Madara Gari, an epic and incredibly powerful Zoro attack that manages to defeat Rob Lucci. The scene then shifts to show Luffy being eaten by the sandworm Gorosei. Luffy tries not to be swallowed deeper and struggles to get out. Finally, Luffy manages to escape and curses the worm monster, saying he's not delicious at all. Then, Saturn successfully catches Luffy, spins him around, and slams him powerfully into the head of the boar monster, causing a strong haki explosion and collision. Luffy, dizzy from the impact, is now eaten again by the worm monster. Inside the worm's stomach, Luffy yells curses and tells the worm to spit him out.
At the same time, Dory and Broggy arrive. They both see a familiar face, Luffy. Dory and Broggy immediately run towards the Gorosei, attacking Luffy. Saturn and the boar monster intend to stop them, but stopping Dory and Broggy is not as easy as they imagine. Saturn and the boar monster are slammed into each other by Dory and Broggy. Then, they both continue towards the sandworm monster, unleashing their Taiyo no Noko, a simultaneous slash of sword and axe that cuts the sandworm, and Luffy is finally free again. Luffy is immediately surprised by the arrival of Dory and Broggy, who saved him. They both really wanted to meet him, coming all the way to Egghead Island. Luffy is very happy to reunite with Dory and Broggy. And that's where this epic episode leaves us. The Gorosei's terrifying power, Luffy's crazy antics, Sanji raging at Zoro, and finally the return of the legendary Elbaf giants Dory and Broggy. What a wild ride! Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next episode breakdown. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next adventure.
Oh my God!